Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with my favorite, Suzanne Bandit. Suzanne, what do you got for the people?
Awesome, Mike. Thank you. Well, last time we did our podcast, we were talking about goals and how to set them and the importance. However, once we have those big, beautiful goals, sometimes we have things that pop up. I'm going to call them the enemies to our success, the things that derail us. And I actually would like to talk about 7 things that could possibly derail us from getting to those beautiful goals today.
Love that because what I've discovered is, and most people actually get this when I say, what's the biggest, what's the biggest thing holding you stuck in your business? What's the biggest bottleneck? And almost everybody says me, right? So if we can give them some tools of me is hard because, okay, we'll fix you. That's a pretty general request. A more specific thing is, hey, here's some of the exact things that could be holding you back, and here's some strategy on how to do it. That said, just a quick precursor to goals, because that assumes we have clear goal set. I have found the two biggest, Suzanne's going to give us 7 things of what will get in the way of achieving our goals. I have found the two biggest things to setting our goals is lack of clarity. Like, I want a big business or a bigger business or $1 billion or just big round numbers. We're not really clear. And then we don't have the why behind the what, right? And it's why is that goal important? So just as you're setting the goals, make sure you're crystal clear on exactly what they are and why they're important. Because if we have bad goals, if we're not clear on the destination, if Suzanne's, hey, here's the things that are going to stop you getting to where you go. Well, thing one would be not being clear on exactly where you're going and why you want to get there. So if you, I'd like to go west because it sounds fun, is going to be very different than I'd like to get to Santa Cruz, California for a surfing competition that starts in 48 hours. Huge difference. All right. Hopefully that helps lay a foundation. Can't wait to hear the 7 things that can derail us on the way.
Perfect. Okay, so the reason we're doing this is because if we're forewarned of these things can crop up, then sometimes we can avoid them or we'll know how to handle them. And a lot of times we're tempted to say, I didn't reach my goal or that didn't work out because, and we pick something external. It
Mm.
was the government, it was the rules, it was something else out of my control. And I would like to suggest for all of us that we have a lot more within our control than we realize.
And maybe Suzanne's full of crap and we don't have that much in our control. It's like, well, then I guess we just give up, right? If it is the government's fault, it's like, well, I guess we just shut down our business. Or so I happen to
I have
align with
had those
Suzanne,
conversations.
which is heartbreaking, right? And all right, Suzanne always says it nice, and I'm here to say it mean. If you were sold that it is the government's fault, your family's fault, the fill in your blank that doesn't start with you and end with you, that's okay. This doesn't mean you're a bad person by any stretch, but it's a real good indicator you may not be suited to be a business owner. It is, for me, from what I've seen, and not only owning businesses, but coaching for a decade, foundational. If you business owners, the big reason we get paid differently is our job is to bend the reality of the world to our vision. And as soon as we bend our vision to the reality of the world, we should probably work for someone who's got a bigger, stronger vision that they're, and then we can get on their team. Nothing wrong with that, right? We have to have all parts. So I would say that is a non negotiable if you want to be a business owner, but are unwilling to own results. It's like, that's like saying, I'd like to be an Uber driver, but I don't like being in cars very often. It's like, well, nothing wrong with that. You might not, you might want to consider a different profession. Or I'm an airplane
Right.
pilot, but I'm a little afraid of heights. Okay.
Oh, Mike. Okay, so let's look at one thing that can derail us. And these are in no particular order of importance. But let's look at the first thing, procrastination.
I hate that one.
How often have we put off doing something that we know we should do? People, we can fear confrontation and we build something up. We can't do it because it's not going to turn out right. I have this fear of confrontation. Maybe it's going to be losing a client because of a price increase or a discussion that needs to be had. Same thing with a cleaner. We're getting in our head. This is what I'd like to point out is there's a story in your future that hasn't happened yet, and we're trying to create it, and often we go to the negative. And that's why we procrastinate, because we think this isn't going to have a good result. Whereas if we say, you know what, I'm going to focus on doing it, I'm going to focus on getting the best result that I can. This is how I would like it to turn out. Did you know they've done studies that when you're the one that's focused on this is how I want it to turn out, you're more likely to get it your way?
Oh my gosh, I'm sure they have, but I don't want to say it's common sense. But if I come into this conversation with Suzanne thinking she's a pain in the neck, she never gets anything, we're going to just be miserable. She, being a human that's existed for more than 8 seconds would go, yeah, that's probably not going to be a great conversation. Whereas if I come in going, my friend Suzanne, I miss her. I'm so excited to get her perspective. I know people are going to, I hate to say common sense, but if you're fighting that one, Jiminy Christmas, like, how do you not get what we bring to the party? And again, that's just another level of owning it, right? And maybe Suzanne came and she's got great energy. Maybe I can't control it. What happened to Suzanne before she picked up this call? But golly, if I show up at this energy, the likelihood it's going to contage and she's going to kind of get some is very high. And if I show going, hey, Suzanne, what's shaking? And then the crazy thing is it's a circle because I show up negatively thinking Suzanne's going to be a pain in my neck. Shocker, what happens? And I go, see, I knew it. And I'm gonna brag on you because you never do it for yourself. One of my favorite things, and I've got a lot about Suzanne, is her just belief. I think I think it's natural. She can't even control it now, but I know at a time she had to do it on purpose. Her belief was, I just meet the greatest people. Everybody I meet is just great. And every time we talk, certainly we get together, I don't know, 2, 3 times a year in person. It's a lot of fun. She and her husband just always have great stories of these great people. And is it coincidence? Just Suzanne happens to be lucky? No, maybe that wasn't always the case for her, but she developed that belief and it shows up and then it just continues to redevelop and now I don't even think you think about it. You're just like, yeah, doesn't everybody? No, everybody doesn't. That's just you, crazy lady.
True. We create a reality. So let's frame that into procrastination. Okay. Procrastination, worst case scenario, I don't often go here, but procrastination makes us feel bad. I didn't do that. I should have done that. Now we beat ourselves up. Now we feel bad. And it drains our energy. It gives us no strength to do all the other things that we need to do in our lives. So, my suggestion on procrastination is tell your monkey story that's being negative. You're just being silly. Can focus on what I do desire, and I need to take action now because my taking action now will stop this monkey mind nonsense, will stop my energy drain. And frankly, no matter how it turns out, I'm going to feel better because I'm going to feel in control.
Couldn't agree more. Even when we have difficult conversations, I think half or more of the time, they go better than we think. But let's just take the side where they don't go as well as we think. For me, just experientially, I don't want to say always because who knows, but overwhelmingly, I do feel better afterwards. Even in the rare case where it didn't go how I hoped, at least that's because there's always the fear. The procrastination is what could. And if it goes poorly, well, at least I know how poorly and what poorly, and I've got something to bite on or chew, or I can do something about it. But when it's just all these potentialities, you're just like you're wrestling with Jello in your own mind. And I shouldn't say always, but it's common to go to the worst place, right? It's not that things always go better than we think. We just play out the most negative by default if we're not being intentional.
And my one further note is make sure that you find the reason that you need to do something. And frankly, if your reason isn't good enough, maybe you don't have to do it. Check it out, and then you don't have to worry about procrastination. You can just say, I chose not to do it because it wasn't important. Okay, so number 2 on the list of things that can derail you is our own negative self talk. We often say, I can't do that. I'm not capable. I don't know how. Hands up, who can relate to this? See everybody driving in their car listening to this podcast, raising their hands, right? That's me. We need to change the I can't to, if not I can, then it's possible, or I can learn, right? Take the baby steps to change the negative self talk of you didn't do that before, I can't do that. Why could I do it now? And find the minuscule little reasons you can to help move you forward to the belief that finally gets to, I not only can, I did.
Got two things on that because this is such a it's tough because hopefully no one out there is dealing with all seven of these, and maybe you're dealing with 0 to 1 or 2, but any one of these can be a killer. So even if you just got one but you got it bad, I don't know about any one of these because we haven't gone over all seven, but the first two can certainly take you out in and of themselves. My least favorite thing about the negative self-talk is like with procrastination, we talked about all the negatives, but there's at least so I went to a movie or did something fun. And so there's a benefit, like drugs. I haven't done them, but from what I see, there's an upside. Obviously, the downside is much worse, but at least you get something out of it. With the negative self-talk, it's like taking a drug that makes you feel crappy today and later. There's not even the upside. So my least favorite about the negative self-talk is it feels bad while you're doing it, and it kicks you in the soft bits down the road. So there's not even an upside. So it's golly, if I got to pick something to derail me, at least I want the one that has an upside. And for me, what I found is helpful in this to get me out of this, because if I just tell myself to think better, be better, for me, that doesn't work. And maybe you guys are stronger and that works. And if it does, do what works for you. For me, asking a better question is easier for some reason for me to do. So I don't typically go, you suck and everything sucks and blah, blah, blah. Usually just ask questions that go that, why is this so hard? Why can't I ever figure this out? Why is Suzanne so much easier, better, smarter, whatever the case may be? So it's hard for me to just be like, ship up or shape up, white knuckle this thing, get better. But I can go, why don't you just ask a better question? So instead of a statement of this is never going to work, what would have to happen for this to work? Nothing ever works out for me. Do things work out for some people ever? Yeah. Do I have some of the traits that you can just ask better questions. So for me, a baby step as opposed to stop talking negative and start talking positive would be start asking questions that have a chance of an answer that you like, as opposed to how long has it been since you beat your wife? I don't know. How do I, there's no good answer to that. What's your favorite thing about your wife? There's 1,000 good answers to that. So at least if you can't do positive talk, at least ask some questions that have a chance to have an answer that will serve you or somebody.
That's excellent, Mike. Thank you for the addition of that. Okay, so number 3 that can derail you, others' negative talk.
Mm.
Now, here we're going to go into not just the people you're around, and often it's our family. They're the closest, and they really mean well, but they're just trying to protect you, and they're telling you reasons you shouldn't do something or can't do something. But goes beyond the people that are closest to us. It's listening to the news. It's listening to reading the papers, being on the internet, checking it out on your phone. There's a whole bunch of nasty things going on. Does it necessarily have to affect us? Can we focus on doing the things we need to do to make our individual life better?
Again, I'm always going to give I don't want to say the easy solution, but the one that kind of works for me. So what I'm hearing you say is there's two fights you can have. One is be around the negative talk and do your best to not let it affect you. And when it comes to family or things where most of the things we can change. Actually, we could change and not be around our family, just maybe not be a good idea. And others, we have more and less control over certain things. So if the fight for me is be around the negative talk and insulate yourself and try not to have it affect you, or just don't be around the negative talk. I'm not strong. I'm not strong enough, honestly, it's hard. So for me, the best solution is just, you know what? Even crazy stuff people say online and there's certain negative things that we need to hear, but there's a way we can hear it that's helpful and effective and not. So you tell me, Suzanne, but for me, it's like, I think to the best of my ability, which is pretty high, I'm just going to I'd rather just be with Suzanne and not have to worry about it than be with someone that wears me out as negative and be like, all right, I got to buck up and fight through this.
Yeah, you gotta know. So, instance, if it's family and it's a family dinner and you can't avoid things, you just don't talk about, say, work, the things that you talk about, other things. Surround yourself with the right people and choose to turn off the news. Don't read the papers. Don't flip through things that give you any negativity. And it helps us do the things we need to do. We're talking about getting to our goals. If we're depressed, it's harder to get to our goal.
and I hate to sound like old man champion, but here we go. And this is a little different than negative self talk. And apologize, Suzanne, if I step inadvertently on 4 through 7. But other people's positive self talk can also be tough, like scrolling through Instagram and seeing, oh my gosh, Suzanne's out on another beautiful trip and I'm sitting at home. You could try and just fight through it, or we could maybe not do the scroll so much.
Thank you, Mike, for the perfect intro. You really, guys, he didn't know this in advance. The perfect intro to number 4 that can derail you is comparing. We're looking at, oh, they're smarter than me, they're better than me, they've got more than me, forget it. Comparing never takes us anywhere good. And the only way we get ahead is to champion ourselves and everyone else. Help each other rise. So
And
stay out of it.
the comparing, because there's only 2 ways you can do it. I'm better than Suzanne, or Suzanne's better than me. And they both are not great. So it's not like there's good comparing and bad comparing. Oh, I'm better than Suzanne. That's not so bad. It's really, is that how I need to make myself feel? Like, can't I just be like, Suzanne's just a beautiful human, some great qualities I don't have. And I admire the pants off of those for her. And it's okay that I don't have those because I've got some stuff that she doesn't have. And that's just fine. And I've got some challenges and weaknesses she doesn't have to deal. And you know what I'm saying? So I don't think the comparing helps either way, right? It's not, oh, they're better than me, I feel bad. Well, that's not a fun meal to sit down to. And I don't think it's good the other way. So I think just acknowledging and like, I like honoring and going, yeah, Suzanne's got some strengths and those are great. And I don't, and that's fine. I've got some stuff, but I don't need to be like, I have this and Suzanne doesn't, therefore I'm this, or it's the because of this. And I think it really just goes back into the negative self talk. So I think the comparing is really the gateway drug to the negative self talk or the gross negative others talk. Because really, when I go, I'm this and Suzanne doesn't, that's just negative others talk. And when I go, oh my gosh, she's got that and I don't, now it's negative self talk. So I think that comparing is just a gateway to, can be a gateway to negativity.
So again, the awareness. And by the way, sometimes we're in a habit of doing something. We're in a habit of checking the news. We're in a habit of comparing. We're in a habit of talking negatively about ourselves. What we're talking about now, when you say, that's it, I'm going to cut it out, doesn't necessarily magically happen. What we need to do is be aware, number 1. And number 2, focus a step at a time. We're never always going to be perfect. So if we stray and we start to compare ourselves, or we stray and we talk something bad about ourselves, the realization is going to be key to say, I would like to change that behavior. If
For
we
me,
focus on changing the behavior, it will stop the derailment.
for me, it's, I always give people the easier just buttons that work for me in case it's helpful for others. So for me, it's hard to stop something. It's easier to replace it. I've not done this, but I've heard if you try to stop smoking, don't just try and stop smoking, start running or replace it
Chew
with something
gum.
healthier. Yeah, something. Yeah, don't just try and stop it. Haven't been through that, but I have been through replacing is again, as opposed to, I'm just going to stop negative self-talk. That's too much for me. I'm not that mentally strong, but I'm going to start asking myself better questions. Okay, I can do that. So instead of just not comparing, which that's a tough one, for me, what works is celebrating. So as opposed to, look at all these great things Suzanne has, that's fine. It's what I say after. It's not fair to, how come blah, blah, blah. If I just celebrate it, I love how Suzanne is this and that and the other. Great. Or if I've got something, I'm really good at this, I've got the strength where Suzanne doesn't, I can celebrate I feel so blessed and lucky that I've got the strength. I don't have to go to the comparing part. So instead of just, I'm never going to compare again, which is tough, maybe just focus more on the celebration side and just let it stop there, as opposed to the, now I have to put her strength or weakness in relationship to my strength or weakness. Let me just celebrate both of our strengths and that'll be that.
So it's replacing what we don't like with a new habit. So that's where being aware, we can say, when this happens, this is going to be the new habit that I choose. And we're less likely to be derailed. Let's quickly go through the others.
Please.
Number 5 is blaming others. Started with that. Blaming others takes away our power. If we can bring it back to us and say, what can I do? What are my choices? We regain our power. That's a much nicer position to be in.
this is another big one. This is, again, we talked about this at the beginning. If you're going to do this, it's very hard to be a business owner at all, never mind a successful business owner. And I try not to ever be political, but big picture, both sides of any political spectrum, that's a lot of politicians. Like, you can't win because of this, and I'm going to fix it. So be aware of not just blaming others on our own, but letting others blame others on our behalf. You can't win because you're young, old, white, black, female, male, strong, whatever the case may be. Again, now we're mixing comparing and blaming others and negative self-talk. These all wrap up together for just a bunch of nastiness. So I just want to encourage folks, not just internally, but when other people try to blame others for you, feel free to go, no, I'm not struggling because of some, again, if it's black, white, short, tall, old, we can't change any of those. So even if the case is same thing, I'm, what is it, 52, I think? I have to ask my wife. I think I'm 52 now. Sounds about, I'm real close. It's not on the nose.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know. And I could say, well, I'm old and no one wants to listen to me and blah, 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 blah. Okay. But I am what good is that going to do? So when I blame, and if some other politician came to me and said, it's because you're old and you're being discriminated against and we need to fight against the powers, or I could just make the most of what I got and not worry about what other people are doing. I hate to, yeah, I don't think this is one of them, but if I had it, could add one, just mind your own goddamn business. Just worry about what you're doing and how to make the best of it. Don't worry about what other people got to say about your, especially non-changeable characteristics, right?
There we go. So I've just got two more. Number 6 is fear. I think we're going to do another podcast on this, what I'm going to say. So, by the way, if you're listening to this podcast, put in the chat, where's the other podcast? Because I think next month we'll do that. Fear, what I'm going to say about that is find it, name it, and analyze it. Okay, that's my quickie note for now. But you can't let fear derail you. And this ties into number 7. Number 7.
Real quick, before we go to number 7, I have one. I know this is a short one, so I'm just going to reinstate something I mentioned earlier. Applies very well to fear. Ask better questions. Because again, the fear is going to, or I shouldn't say better questions, ask questions that have a chance of giving you a good result. Because, and that would be my translation of analyze it. Am I really going to die? Is this really going to whatever? Is this really going to? So just as
will I
part of the
really be
analyzing,
living on the street?
or what's the worst real or realistic? Because the worst case, a nuclear just war happens 1 second from now. Okay, what's the worst realistic case? So that would be how I'd analyze, or I don't say dumb down, but make it accessible. People like analyze. That sounds hard. Just ask some questions about, is this really true? All right, sorry about that. On to number 7.
Okay, number 7 is not asking for help. How to do something, or you feel weary. I just don't, nothing's working. I don't understand. I feel like everything is falling in around me. Or I know I need to do marketing. I don't know how to do marketing. When we don't ask for the help, we bury ourselves.
Only thing I'll have to add on this, and I see it so many times, my most heartbreaking conversations with prospective clients are, I hear it over and over. What, gosh, things are working so hard and things seem way beyond where you wanted to get. Why now? And it's always some version of, I can't, it's just too much. I'm going to break. And it's weird how we have this built in, I can't ask for help until it gets bad. And we want to delude ourselves almost like, the whole, I haven't been an alcoholic, but you got to hit rock bottom. Maybe I've never been recovering from that, but on business, we don't have to. You can't ask for help. I just wanted to throw that in. It's not just asking for help, but asking for help before you need, before it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't count, but it's far less beneficial to ask for help when you're like, I am done, as opposed to, I don't want to go down that road. Let me get some help now when we got lots of options and they're not particularly painful, as opposed to waiting 6 months and having very few options and they're all fairly painful.
We're not in kindergarten. There's no badge of honor in saying I did it myself. Now
And
that
we
we're
put that
adults,
badge on ourselves, or we try to. It's a dumb badge.
Even the strongest CEOs don't try to do everything all themselves, right? Okay, so I know we're running short of time now. We went long. The one thing I want to just close with is, please, with these 7 things, write them down. So when things aren't quite going smoothly, you can analyze, you can recognize something and you can create a clear plan of action to get yourself out of it. So you're moving towards your goal.
Love that. So yeah, I would just say pick the one, if any, that are working with you and just, or that you feel like you're struggling with. Because again, with all the tactical stuff that we do, if you knew exactly what to do and how to do it, but you're constantly blaming others, or you're in fear, or you won't ask for help, or you're procrastinating, like any one of these can take you down. Just be honest with yourself. And a lot of times we think it's tactics, and a lot of times it is, right? If you're got all the right beliefs and you're solidly going in the wrong direction, that's going to be a problem. But if you know the right direction, but your beliefs are keeping you from taking action, is it really helpful at all to know the right direction? Just want to encourage you, work through that. Yeah, hopefully that was awesome. Engage in the comments, reach out to us if you have questions, need some help. Appreciate your time and attention. Talk soon. See you.